in our company vehicle trying to get there. Duncan, we saw some pictures a few minutes ago of a rather hostile reception in Rarieda. Could you explain to us what's been happening and what the residents are saying?
Yvonne, I think what we've witnessed is first-hand defiance before the party leader, because in other areas where they've called for the six-piece voting pattern, we've not seen that kind of defiance. But this is Rarieda, home to engineer Nicholas Gumbo, who is vying as an independent candidate to unseat Governor Cornel Rasanga. Raila Odinga was actually on the podium addressing when chaos began. He was trying to talk to them in a Luo dialect, just trying to explain to them as to why perhaps they are calling for a six-piece vote of ODM, if not ODM, then NASA affiliate parties. But that is where trouble began. And as we speak, actually, we are taking off to Bondo, where Raila Odinga himself has been forced to actually leave Rarieda for Bondo, which is the second last stop before the major rally in Siaya town. So as we speak, we've already left that place because the independent candidate's headache has reared its head openly before the party leader, and you've seen the right on the screen, the images. It's chaotic, and we had to leave the place as soon as possible.
All right, Duncan, so tell me, because when we saw the pictures earlier, we were made to understand that Raila hadn't in fact yet arrived at Rarieda. You're now saying he did in fact arrive and tried to speak to the residents there and was not allowed to continue?
Well, we left Wagai when Raila was addressing. Then we came by road. He flew by chopper. Immediately we arrived. Immediately our signal went up. Even before we could reach the podium where Raila was, we could actually see him. Then that is where all hell broke loose. So Raila was actually the one addressing when the chaos began. And those around the podium were cheering him to continue, but those at the periphery were chanting Engineer Gumbo, independent. And that's why you saw chaos began at the periphery. Then those ones that were in the crowd, of course, they must have been anticipated that kind of scenario, now charged, trying to attack those, we presume, Gumbo supporters. So yes, Raila Odinga was the one who was actually addressing the gathering, because I understand other leaders that came earlier could not do it. That's why immediately Raila landed, he started by addressing his supporters, and that's where trouble began, Yvonne.
We understand Gumbo is set to do a tour tomorrow, perhaps to ostensibly try and undo any gains that Raila may have made. Do you have this information? Can you confirm this for us?
Not yet, but that is the talk that has been going on the ground. Even this particular meeting, we understand as early as 9 in the morning, there were those supporters who were determined that they will not allow any sort of condemnation of independent candidates. But in other areas, it has been a bit suppressed. It's here in Rarieda, the home ground for engineer Nicholas Gumbo, where that defiance has openly played out before the party leader and the presidential candidate Raila Odinga, who, by the way, is accompanied by his co-principal Musalia Mudavadi, Senator James Orengo, who perhaps is using this particular tour in the county to campaign, because you remember talk has been there that he's the only one who clinched the Senate ticket without campaigning, without a single poster, because he's largely engaged in national politics. So more so, by and large, this is an Orengo campaign, and he's tagging along with the Raila Odinga. And this is their fifth stop before Bondo, which is basically the village to Raila Odinga. Then the final rally will be in Siaya town. But it's here in Rarieda where this kind of defiance has been witnessed, Yvonne.
Right, Duncan, what was the reception like in Gem? Because we understand Jacoyo Midiwo and Nicholas Gumbo, both having lost the nominations and running as independents, have formed, an alliance, a union, if you like. Did he receive any hostile reception in Gem? Was that, a little better than what we've seen in Rarieda just now? All right, we seem to have lost the signal there. Carry on.
Yes, Yvonne. In Ugenya, Ugunja, and Wagain Game constituency, there was no defiance. It's actually here in Rarieda where we've witnessed that sort of defiance. We've been on them on that campaign trail as they are crisscrossing the county. But it is here in Rarieda that this has played out, and who knows whether that could be the same in Siaya town. We are not so sure. But here in Rarieda, clearly it was bound to happen given that Gumbo has stood his ground. In game.
All right, I apologize for that. We have